Good evening, everyone. It is Tuesday, February the 11th, 2020. It is currently 5:55 p.m. Central Time. Well, I wanted to hit the go live button, take just a few minutes, just a very few minutes of your time to share with you a quote from a book that I'm reading. The name of the book is The Blessings of Brokenness. The Blessings of Brokenness. Now, I have read this book a number of times in the past. I was listening to something that mentioned the topic, and then all of a sudden the name of the book came up, and then the next thing you know, I'm looking at the book, and the next thing you know, I come across this quote in the book. I could talk about the book a long time. It's been a while since I've read it. I have read it a number of times. I remember I don't agree with everything in the book, but I always found it challenging because this idea of brokenness and that there are blessings in brokenness and realizing that I don't really want to be broken. And I've always, nobody really wants to experience being broken, but the book makes the claim that there is blessings to be found in brokenness. Now, we could talk about the theme of the book. We could talk about the concept of brokenness in the Bible, but I just want to share the quote with you. Is that okay? All right. Let me lean over here and grab my Kindle, all right? Because I think this is a powerful quote. So let me find it really quick. It was on the page and then I messed it up. Here we go. Now this is very important. Listen to this carefully. Because God is in the process of changing what we desire far more than he is in the process of giving us what we desire. Listen to that again. Because God is in the process of changing what we desire far more than he is in the process of giving us what we desire. Now, a lot of times as Christians, we have this idea that we come to God with what we desire. We bring to God what we desire in hopes that we will get what we desire. If it be your will, give me this. If it be your will, give me this. If it be your will, give me this. But have we ever thought about God changing our desires? Let me read the quote again. Because God is in the process of changing what we desire far more than he is in the process of giving us what we desire. Let me ask you a very important question. In your spiritual life, over the last 6 months, can you clearly identify how God is changing your desires? Can you identify how God is working in you, changing your desires, doing something in you that you no longer desire what you desire? You desire things that are different. How much has your desires changed over your Christian life? Now, I think many Christians would find this very hard if they're going to be honest with themselves, that deep down they still kind of desire maybe a little different than when they were lost, but they still desire a lot of things. I mean, their desires are their desires. And they haven't really spent a lot of time thinking about how God could be changing those desires. And here's a very important thought. How does God change our desires? Is this just something that happens supernaturally? God just does it and we're not involved in the process? Or does God change our desires? And the change in our desires is dramatically based and connected to what we do. Are there things we need to do to put us in a position where God changes our desire? Does this just naturally happen? And when I say naturally, because we're Christians, God just naturally, obviously we would say supernaturally, begins to change my desires, or do I have to do something? Do I have a responsibility in this process? It's a powerful quote, and I want you to give it some serious thought about your desires. What is God doing in your life as far as your desires are concerned? Are they truly changing? And if not, why not? How have they changed? And what could you do and what could I do to put ourselves in a position where that change of our desires would increase? It would be more dramatic. I just wanted to read this quote to you really quick. And I'm opening up my Kindle again. I'm gonna read it to you one more time because I just think it's really good. Because God is in the process of changing what we desire far more than he is in the process of giving us what we desire. Now we could ask the question, is that true? Is this a biblical statement, or is just a theoretical statement that has no biblical support? I mean, I've said it so many times. What we desire our desires are so critical, because I think sometimes when we look at the lives of many Christians, we desire the world. We desire the things of the world. We desire our way. We desire our wants. We desire what will make me better. All of our desires are self-centered and worldly and fleshly so often. If God is in the process of changing our desires far more than he is in giving us in what we desire, then why are we not witnessing that? And I think if this principle is biblical, if it is biblical, every new Christian needs to know that principle, because so many Christians, they come to God, and if God doesn't seem to be answering prayers the way they want them and giving them what they want, they become very frustrated and bitter and almost, become antagonistic to the things of God. Many leave the church. This whole Christian thing's not working. Well, it's not working if you're in it for yourself, but if your desire is changing, what does a person's life look like where God has dramatically changed their desires? I mean, truly changed their desires. We can claim it all day. In public, we can say, God is changing my desires. But deep down, we know they're not truly being changed. We're not talking about a fake surface level change. We're talking a deep rooted change that God is supernaturally working in us. But I think there's something we have to do to be a part of that process. I really do. All right. I just wanted to hit the go live button and share that with you. I read it. I'm still trying, as you can hear, I'm still trying to think it out myself. I'm just trying to process it. I don't really know. So I'll place it before you. Discuss away. Start talking about it. You can email me at newsif@yahoo.com. Newsif@yahoo.com. Tell me what you think. All right? Tell me what you think. I'll read the quote one more time. I'll end it with this. Because God is in the process of changing what we desire far more than he is in the process of giving us what we desire. Meditate on that. God bless.